Hi, this is Mark from Jag Panzer. You're watching CMS TV.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. Red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. Ow!
Right back here on the Seth Williams Show with Chris Akin. I certainly did not have any intention of talking wrestling today, but I do, I am a fan. I honestly, since the last pay-per-view, though, I haven't really paid attention much.
Yeah.
Somebody said Mick Foley. Mick Foley, I've met Mick Foley.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought he's a super nice guy off the air,
Sure.
like out of the ring and everything else. And, and actually he was kind of fun to talk to. He had like a children's Christmas book or something out years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we had him actually, he couldn't make it in the studio in the morning. And so he actually came and met me. Okay. And the other guy was doing mornings with him for like a taping.
Right.
Like later in the day, just us sitting in the studio and we were recording stuff. And he was like super cool. It was a great interview and a lot of fun. I mean, I really wish that my career started when social media was around.
Right.
Because now there's like no evidence of that. It might be on a cassette tape of mine somewhere in like a garage somewhere.
Sure.
But otherwise, there's no proof that it actually happened. But it was really cool, and he was a nice guy. But I don't know. He had so many characters that
he was a character guy. But let's be honest, the man knew how to wrestle. Like he knew. See, I would take Mick Foley every day of the week over Hulk Hogan as far as watching him in the ring.
Well, he was intense and did a lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah, the craziness. Dude, when you think about it, every single huge icon wrestler is a bad wrestler. I'm not saying it because that makes them terrible. I mean, that obviously seems to be the trick. Undertaker, as great as that entrance is, the Undertaker's a bad wrestler.
He had a lot of good gimmicks.
A good wrestler.
He had
good gimmicks. But the walk in, the hat, the coat, the walking on the rope little thing, but as a wrestler, I mean, if you watch him and then you watch, I don't know, let me pick somebody that's real average, Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah.
Dolph Ziggler, who never made it out of the mid-card, is a great wrestler. As far as in-ring, great wrestler. But he never made it out of the mid-card. Why? Because he didn't have a gimmick. His gimmick of shaking his butt when he walked in wasn't enough. That was, so it didn't work. You're right. Hulk Hogan, great entertainer. Horrendous wrestler. And that's what always drove me crazy with him, was that you would get 60 minutes of Hulk at WrestleMania 1, 2, and 3, and it was just laboring. It was like, another one, probably the worst wrestler that they always made out to be this awesome guy, Andre the Giant.
I agree.
Andre was terrible. He was so bad that he was frustrating to watch. He was just frustrating to watch in the ring.
The cool stuff about some of the guys like Andre and Hulk and stuff like that is hearing the stories about what they were like behind the scenes.
Sure.
I mean, when they were talking about Andre, and Andre could drink like a freaking fish and would get hammered, and like the guys wouldn't even know that he was hammered because he would just down bottles of wine all over the place, and it wouldn't even affect the guy. But like if he didn't like you and you were in a ring with him, he would hurt you, like for real, like really actually hurt you.
Right.
And like was the one story that I heard not that long ago. It was about a Macho Man with Andre, and Andre hated him because of the oil that Macho Man would wear all over his body.
Right.
And like he yelled at Macho Man before one like match, said, "No oil." And because he couldn't grab a hold of him and couldn't do it, and like if Macho Man didn't listen, he would get hurt.
Right.
I mean, some of those guys behind the scenes are more interesting than they are actually in the ring.
Yeah.
Like I loved Roddy Piper back in the day. I thought he was a great character.
But he was a pretty good wrestler too.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan, dude.
Yeah, that's another one. Terrible wrestler. I mean, what was his? Do you remember his moves?
No, I remember all I remember is the 2x4. Oh, he's running with the 2x4. It was the greatest. But they were really good at creating stars.
Yeah, they were.
And the product itself wasn't necessarily the big attraction. Honky Tonk Man was not exactly the greatest wrestler of all time.
No, not at all.
But the attraction was his shaking and the guitar and everything else.
Do you remember when the Honky Tonk Man teamed up with Greg the Hammer Valentine?
Yes.
And they just dyed Greg Valentine's hair black and put him in the car, and he's pretending he's playing guitar. WWF never had a problem with doing something that looks stupid, did it?
No.
No. Well, all right, dude.
This is what I'm excited about. This is what we've been looking forward to.
Okay.
I'll play the clip if you want me to.
Okay, please play the clip.
We're gonna play the clip and introduce our next guest, which I am super pumped about. Now this is kind of a surprise guest, if you will.
Yes. Came up last second, but thank you, Jim Florentine, for helping put this together.
Here we go. Here's a little hint. Your next guest in about a minute. Hang on.
I don't understand the attachment to the Olympics. I mean, I just don't understand attaching yourself to the physical prowess of other people because they're from the same country as you are. I don't even watch team sports anymore. Like, I watched the Yankees this year, and I was a fan again because they were in the World Series. But then they humiliated all of us, and they lost, so I won't watch them again until maybe next year, if they're in the playoffs. And I say that, and guys are like, "You're a bandwagon fan." Yes. Shouldn't you be a bandwagon fan? How has professional sports convinced people that you are somehow a deeper and more meaningful person if you tolerate a bad product? Like if you went to the same restaurant every Sunday and got food poisoning, and someone's like, "You want to go somewhere else?" You wouldn't go, "I gotta be loyal." I watch them when they win, and you tell guys that, and they're like, "Yeah, I was watching the Yankees when they were in last place." All right, well, you're a fucking idiot. What do you want me to tell you? You're a stupid asshole, and you're one of the reasons they were in last place, dummy. Because if no one showed up, they would have gotten better. But people like you would sit there like an idiot, and they're like, "We don't have to fucking do anything. They're still coming." I did something. I helped the team. I took my baseball dollars, and I gave it to escorts. That's what I did.
All right, Chris, bring him on, man.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Jim Norton. Jim, how are you?
Good. Watching myself is such
a torment to watch myself. I'm trying to hook up my mic because I hear you guys coming through here, but I hear myself through the mic. So I'm fucking with this as I do it. But how are you?
Good, man.
Fantastic. Now, I'm going to say, though, I feel bad for you in a way, man.
Why?
Because last night I was watching you on Gutfeld. So you're hobnobbing with, the cream of the crop, the Gutfeld and comedians and Tyrus and all the Cat. And then you come on a show with two fat asses. One that is a burn victim and the other one's an amputee. So welcome to the show, man.
Well, it's nice to finally be the hot guy somewhere. So I'm happy to be here.
Well, Jim, there's a reason that we played that clip, and it's because you're coming to Cleveland, which if you just substituted out the word Yankees for Browns, it would fit equally with what we experience. This is a town of total losers. Everybody in this town just accepts the team. Oh, well, next year it'll be better, man.
Yeah, it's weird when people put their, and I'm turning off my air vent so it doesn't make noise in the background. It's one of those things where people just associate themselves, but that's what politics are like too. Everybody associates themselves with a team and it's their identity, and I fucking hate it so much. And yes, I realize these glasses are awful. It's humiliating. These are $8 CVS glasses that I bought in Key West, Florida when I was bombing in front of half a room. So just so you know, I know how stupid I look. I don't want you to think I'm under the illusion that I look great. I don't.
Well, we still make you look better, so it's fine.
Yeah,
That is a good point, yeah. But I mean,
So how is Gutfeld? I mean, I hate to ask you about that, but I just literally watched you last night. And I watched that show, and I don't know what your political leanings are. I saw what you did last night, but how is that show? What's it like to be on there?
he's great. I mean, Gutfeld is, I've known him for many years. We used to live in the same building, actually, in New York. So I've known Greg for probably since 2002, 2001. And I used to do the old Red Eye when it was on Fox overnight. So, I mean, I've known him for a very, very long time. So it's great. I mean, I'm happy for him. I love doing the show. And, I get along with everybody on there, so it's fun.
Do your politics vibe with the rest of the crew there?
I'm not as conservative as those guys are, although on certain things I agree completely. Like, I don't hate Trump. I didn't vote for him, but I don't hate him. It's like I kind of go issue to issue with somebody. So, but I don't mind. I'd go on MSNBC if they'd have me on. I don't care about the politics of the people. I just care about my own thoughts. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I never get bent out of shape if they're saying things that I don't agree with. I don't care. I like them as people, so it's fun to do.
Right on. Well, Jim, obviously there's many things for you to talk about and promote here. We'll start with the reason you're here, which is you will be here on Friday and Saturday at Hilarities over there on East 4th. Talk a little bit about coming back to Cleveland and, where you're at in your career now with obviously moving out of the radio realm and into the podcasting realm. Does it make it harder to travel or any difference or what?
Well, you could never say, tell us about your career and coming back to Cleveland in the same sentence because it's kind of there. You've answered your own question.
I get it.
No, it's funny, man. I did radio for 20 years, and I like what I'm doing now a lot more. It's just anything gets to be old after a while. Mm-hmm. And the podcast does okay. It's new. It's, today episode 24 went up, so it's not like it's been around for a while. I think it'll keep growing. But I like what I'm doing. I like the guys I have on, and I like my schedule. But it's weird. It's like you miss not knowing that the money's there. Mm-hmm. Like whenever you have a steady gig, that money is there. And even though I haven't noticed a difference in my life, I still have that thing where I know it's not there. So I have to go on the road more, which is okay. I kind of like being on the road. And it's nice not to have to get up as early. That sucked for 20 years.
Sure.
Now, I've been doing radio for 25 years in Cleveland, and I vouch for how tough it is. But the radio business has changed so much; it's just not the same as it used to be. So yeah, the podcast thing seems to be the wave of the future. But didn't you love radio at some point? I mean, radio was really a good time.
I loved it, man. I even liked it at the end. I didn't think it sucked. I was just, the Opie and Anthony show. Like, nothing I ever do will be funnier than that. Like, it was a decade of just the most vile, aggressive humor. So anything else will kind of be hey, this is fun, but that was that. You know, it's like if you're in The Godfather, your next movies are not going to be quite as exciting. That's how I feel with the Opie and Anthony show. But, you know, I never stopped liking it, but I stopped feeling enthused about it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, my podcast I'm really excited about doing. You know how it is, man. You got to be really excited about something that you're doing. Otherwise, like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm just wasting my time.
Right.
And I think that Sirius didn't handle podcasting well. Like, they looked at podcasting the way regular radio looked at satellite, and then by the time they tried getting their arms around it, it was already too late.
Sure.
So I look at a guy like Howard, and I get angry with him because he was, to me, what radio was all about back in the day, and same with O&A. And then he changed for the worse, in my opinion. I don't know what you think, but to me, he was a trailblazer to create good radio, and I was not.
You know, Howard, I never really listened to Howard because I was an Imus fan when I was growing up, because my dad listened to Imus. And then there was a contentious relationship between Opie and Anthony and him. I never felt that, though, because I mean, I've met Howard a couple times, and he was always very pleasant when I met him, and his wife has been very nice to me, so I never had any negative vibes towards him. And I guess because I didn't grow up listening to it, or like I wasn't like a diehard fan, I don't care that he changed, because I get why that's frustrating for fans, but he's 70. Like, all he wants to do is nice interviews now and kind of ride off and enjoy his life. I kind of get that it's harder at that age to motivate yourself in an angry way, like to fuck with people. But I also don't think that he should have written off all of Trump's supporters. Like, you know, a lot of them are just people that want to laugh when they turn the radio on. Like, you know, you can't just write off half of your fans because they don't jibe with you politically anymore. But I don't care about his show, though. Whatever he does, whatever makes him happy, good for him.
How do you handle that in your comedy routine? How do you handle that in the stand-up with the politics? Do you bother with it at all?
I speak my mind about if I want to talk about something, but I go into it with a really important mindset, which is it's not my job to change anybody's mind. Like, I am not a fucking lesson teacher. I'm not out to go, this is how you have to feel about trans people. Like, I don't care how people feel about it. I talk about my own life and my own views, and then whatever people do with that is up to them. Like, that's where comics run into trouble, when they think their job is to tisk and fucking teach and scold the audience. Like, I want people to see it my way, but I want them to laugh. So my job is to make people laugh and to be as honest as I can, I think. So, you know, I don't get too involved with it. Like, I don't care about other people's opinions. Like, I have enough faith in my own thinking to be fine if people disagree with me.
Sure.
Right, but at the same time, there was a cancel culture that was going around for quite some time, and it looked like it killed a lot of comedians.
Well, it killed one of your really good friends, Jim, with Louie for a long time.
It killed a few of my good friends.
Right.
Louie is, at least he's touring now, and I know that the way it happened for him was so bad. But the whole cancel culture was based in a lie anyway. The whole thing was just based in aggression and punishment masked as virtuous behavior. Twitter pile-ons are they're the new beatings in the street. Like, you can't beat the shit out of a guy in the street, but if you can pile on somebody who has committed a sin, I mean, we really are an asshole country. It's the scarlet letter. That's all it really is. We think we're these fucking advanced, bright people, but we're the same as they were during the Inquisition. We just don't torture people anymore, but we kill you passive-aggressively and socially.
Right. Jim, let me ask you about some of your acting that you've done. I know we're all over the map.
Sure.
But
the question should be, Jim, why did you try that?
No. First of all, whoever cast you as Father Callahan, that could be the most brilliant casting ever, taking you as far away from you, but not as far as you might think on, what was that, Power? Yeah.
Power. It was such a bizarre one. That one I went in for. I'm like, they want me to read for a priest? And I was so not caring if I got it. I just kind of threw the audition away. Like, I just did it. I was nervous. The guy had me sit down, and we did it again. And we tried a couple things, and I was so comfortable because I didn't care if I got it, because I didn't think it was in the realm of possibility that I would get it. It's like when you ask out a 10 and you never think she's going to say yes, you're almost relaxed because you're like, this fucking bitch is going to go out with me. So that's how I felt about Power. And plus, almost all my scenes were with Joe Sikora, so that was more relaxing. He's a legit fucking great actor and a very nice guy. So I loved my experience there. And the first day on set, I showed up like 3 hours late because one of the ADs or the assistant producers had given me the wrong time. And I'm like, you told me to be here. And she's like, all right, could you just tell them that I gave you the right time? Like, she wanted me to take the fucking hit. She's like, I'll give you $100. I'm like, I don't want $100. I'm not gonna show up late for a production by 3 hours and then take the hit for $100.
Right.
So I actually think they fired her, but that was my first day on set. It started really great, and I never went to table reads. I never went to a table read because I was always so scared they were gonna fire me. I'm like, fuck this. Just tell them I can and just show up on set, and eventually they'll kill me off, and they did.
Too good, man. The other one I wanted to ask you about, and this is way old, I can't even believe this is 20 years ago, but was Lucky Louie, which is still one of my favorite sitcoms ever. That was cutting edge. I can't believe you guys only got one season out of that.
Neither can I. It was because the critics hated it. Like, HBO is really like based on critics and what they think. And the show, like, we did all the we actually shot 13, only 12 aired. But they like, none of the audience knew any of us because it was all shot before any of the episodes aired. So they didn't know our characters. They didn't know anything about us when they showed up. And it still fucking killed so hard. And I love that Louie would leave in jokes that only got like a small laugh.
Right.
And if we had to shoot a second take, he's like, hey, man, you got anything else? You got anything different? Like, just to try a different one in front of an audience. So that's one of my favorite projects I ever did. And I think it was one of the very few really fucking stupid things HBO did was not picking that up because these asshole critics didn't like it. It was a legitimately funny show. The lines were brutal, hard-hitting. And when Rick Shapiro walked in naked, there's that one moment where Uncle Jerry walks in naked.
Right.
It's the biggest laugh I've ever seen anything get in a room. It is all the stand-up I've seen. And I don't even know, like, which take they showed. If they showed the first or the second take in the final cut. But that first take of him walking in naked, I have never heard anything get a bigger response from an audience. It was great. And people thought we used a laugh track. That show, the laughs were so explosive that they thought we used a laugh track. And Louie would not let them use a laugh track. So if a joke bombed, Louie refused to let them fix it. It's great.
Dude, one of the best moments in that show was, I don't even remember the circumstance about it, but Louie and Pamela were laying in the bed and he's bitching about something or whatever, and she just starts jerking him off to get him to shut up. And it's like, I laughed so hard because we've all been in that situation. So good, man.
Yeah, it was really... There were so many really funny moments. And Mike Haggerty died, the guy who played his, a big Chicago guy who was a really hilarious, like, he had spots in Friends. He was on George Carlin's show. Mike Haggerty was really hilarious in that. And Jerry Minor, who played, I think it was Jerry was his name in that. Walter, he played Walter, the neighbor. It was really funny.
Right on, man. Well, Jim, tell us about, I know I'm changing directions again, but tell us about Unconceivable. I'm going to tell you, what I like best about this is it's not like every other special we've watched on every other network. I like how it's just, boom, going. Not some elaborate setup or here's a star introducing me. It's just, here's a joke, we're going.
Yeah, and I had done the other stuff. Like, so I felt like this is, online is a different animal. Like, people are clicking through, so you got to get people's attention fast. They're not sitting down, all right, an evening in laughter, like fucking they wouldn't in front of a television. And I love this special. I love that I had complete control over what went into it. We beeped the word cunt at the end because on YouTube, that's the one word that can really sink you in the algorithm. And like wherever you do a special, you do have to.
Whoa.
We just dropped it because, again, I'm not going to shoot myself in the foot like an idiot. But I absolutely love doing it. And people's response has been really good. Like, I didn't think there'd be this many views. It's gotten like 200K in 5 days, which I'm not bragging. I'm shocked. And I'm shocked at how good the comments have been. I'm not deleting bad ones. They've just been really good. So I'm very relieved. And by the way, the stuff I'm doing on the road now is different. It's all new material.
Okay.
So people are not going to see the same shit.
Well, when you do a podcast, do you worry about what you say? Do you worry about the online content? Because we have the same kind of problem here. You talk about something, next thing you know, YouTube gives you 5 listeners. I mean, it's tough to balance that.
You have to, because they don't tell you what's going to get you.
Yeah.
And they don't, they never give you a reason. It's like they just ghost you. So that's the disadvantage to using a service like YouTube that you don't pay for. Is like you kind of have to just take the promotion for free, but however they monitor their content, you have no say in. I almost wish they would charge $25 a month to have a YouTube account, and with that, you got some accountability, you got some numbers, you got some reason. You know what I mean? Like, I would be willing to pay if it came to getting something back, like a person to talk to or whatever. But yeah, look, dude, no matter where you do a special, you're going to have things that you have to navigate. Like, do I really want to say this? Do I not want to say this? Is this joke coming off right? Even Netflix and HBO, they always gave little notes. So
Sure.
You're never free unless you're on stage in a club. And even then, you just, you don't want to lose the audience.
Right. Well, Jim, you are after the Cleveland gig here on Friday and Saturday. I believe your next gigs are in England to go. And Florentine and I text all the time.
I
and,
love Jim.
Yeah, he's the best.
Yes.
But he told us that you guys literally booked gigs to go see the Sabbath thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, I have been busting his balls for 2 solid months that Ozzy is not going to perform. I don't believe he's going to perform. I don't even believe he's going to be there. I believe you're going to get a screen. What do you think? And are you going to be thoroughly disappointed if that is what you get? I know he's your friend.
Here's why I don't think they would do that, because they'd be afraid of creating a riot or something like that. They wouldn't have him not show up because they know that it would be a disaster if he didn't show up. I guess, because I haven't seen him in a while. Last time I saw him in person was at Sharon's birthday party. It was like 2 years ago. Okay. So, again, he's getting around with a cane. He's getting older. Maybe he's sitting during. It wouldn't surprise me if he was sitting during the show, like Axl did when he hurt himself. He broke his leg and was touring with AC/DC. Because Sharon said his voice sounds fucking great. It's literally just the mechanics and the physical. So I do think he'll show up. I don't know if he'll be able to do a full set. He might just do 5 Ozzy songs, 5 Sabbath songs, surrounded by all these great bands. It's kind of like a tribute to Sabbath and everybody going, hey, we love you, all in the same room with Bill. This is all about Bill Ward, because if he had been with those guys way back when, they wouldn't be doing this show. But Ozzy's always said, like, it never felt right for him. And the money's all going to charity. They're not even getting paid for it. All the money goes to charity, so this is not a money grab at all. I really think that they just wanted to end it with Bill, and they felt bad about not ending it with Bill Ward.
Are you going to be personally, I mean, I know you know Ozzy, and I know you've seen him 100 times. Are you going to be personally disappointed, though, to watch him? Like, I'll just tell you as a fan, I was very disappointed when I watched the Hall of Fame thing, where he was struggling to speak and shaky a little bit.
I actually did not see that. Was that his solo induction?
His solo induction,
Because I didn't know it was happening until after, and I read something about Jack Black's induction. I never watched it.
It's a tough watch. He's definitely shaky. He gave about a 3-minute speech and even said, I don't want to give a big speech, which the reason he didn't want to is because he didn't want the camera on him for that long. That was 2 years ago, I believe. Are you going to be disappointed seeing your friend in a very frail state?
I look at Ozzy's life, right? All the shit he's pulled and the near-death experiences and the amount of cocaine and fucking meth. Like, the fact that he is still alive and still with the option, I'll feel bad if it doesn't go for him how he wants it to, but as a fan, I don't care. Like, his voice is better now than it was in the early 80s. I would say his voice would crack like fucking crazy, because I think he was way more fucked up back then.
Right.
I'm happy that they're doing it, and it's almost like, look, the dude's in fucking 75. He's done enough to kill 40 people. So the fact that now he's frail and human, and you know what? It is what it is. Like, I won't be, as long as he doesn't go up there and like sing one song and fall over, which I don't think that's going to happen. But like, whatever it is. I'm okay with, I'm going for the experience. I would love to be able to say hello when I'm there. It's a love thing, 'cause I love him and I love Black Sabbath. So like, whatever it is for those guys at age 75, it is. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay. I'm okay with it.
Now, do you personally, when you travel overseas, do you change your set? Do you change your routines?
I don't know. Like, I don't think I will. I don't have enough material to change it. I mean, I'm at about an hour now. I have a pretty nasty bit about the Queen of England and the royal family, which I plan on closing with. We'll see. But no, I don't change it. A reference maybe here and there to a product or something if you think it will help. But nah, I mean, I do what I do. Like, I don't change my material in the States if I'm in Kentucky or if I'm in, a southern state and I know they're all Gutfeld fans. Like, I don't care what they think about, like, my personal life or the things I talk about. Like, whatever, we'll deal with it. If they hate it, tough shit. So that's kind of how I feel about going overseas. I want to have great shows, but it's basically just to pay for the trip.
Right. Sure. Jim, obviously, one of your two podcasts, Jim Norton Can't Save You, is fantastic. I love it. I was literally just watching today's episode an hour ago.
Thank you.
And, man, I never want to go to prison after listening to ours.
I used to think he's great. Yeah, he's really prolific.
But I'm curious for you, you're a really good interviewer, and I'm not just kissing your ass saying that. You are a really good interviewer. And I'm curious where you got that skill from, because you were always kind of the throw in the random question around O&A. You were never like the main guy. Maybe you were a little more a Jim and Sam, but you've turned into a really good interviewer, the way you cut through bullshit and get to people's like real core.
I think thank you. I would always ask questions during the interviews, things I wanted to know or things that that to me felt like interesting. And again, I'm sure I missed the mark sometimes. Buzz Aldrin snapped at me when I asked what I thought was a great question. So I guess that's just a matter of what would I want to talk about if I was them. Like, it's always the worst thing you can do as a person being interviewed is not give information or not talk or give shitty one-word answers. You know what I mean? Like if you guys asked a question, I was like, thanks. It's like, what are you doing, you fucking dud? Like, so I always try to get them to talk about things that will get them talking. Or if it's something I really want to know about, I'll ask them.
Okay. And then your other podcast, obviously, Sword Fight with your wife. Obviously, that shakes a lot of people just because she's transgender, and you don't shy from. You never did, but you putting it out there. And this is where, look, I've written some books where I've put my life out there, and believe me, I hate sometimes when somebody's like, "Oh yeah, sure that happened," or "That didn't happen," or for you. How do you draw that line between being honest and not giving a shit what your audience thinks of what you say?
Well, with Sword Fight, the reason I did that was because while I had my radio contract, I was not allowed to do a podcast.
Okay.
So they did allow me to do Chip, and then in this last one, they would not let me do my own, but like, yeah, you could do something with your wife. So I wanted to just be doing a podcast. And with Nikki, it's like, look, I know what fans or even people who aren't fans are like. So I know what people are going to be saying. I don't give a shit what they're going to say. But what I wanted to do was just kind of put us out there as people, so we're kind of presenting ourselves as opposed to letting somebody else fill in all the blanks. Okay. Like they can hate our guts, fine. But at least there's video of she and I talking and interacting. She's not some special interest parody. She actually has a lot of common sense, and she talks about this stuff pretty centered. Like, she's a pretty smart and centered person. And you just never want other people, like, they can call us faggots. That means nothing to me, the insults. But I don't want them telling or thinking that they can fill in the blanks. I would rather just put it out there and go, this is what we look like when we interact. You love it or you hate it. It's up to you. But this is what it really is. So once you put that there, people have no choice but to see it, and they can like it or hate it, but they can't lie about it because you've given it to them. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That was a big part of the motive.
Well, one, don't take offense, but she's hot. But
Thank you.
Two, I mean, do you run into that with people? Do you run into like fans that are like, "What the fuck?" and do they give you shit or what, or no?
Not in person. You know how the internet is. Almost nobody ever does it in person. But no, the questions I get at meet and greets is people will a lot of times ask, is she with you? Like, a lot of people want to meet her because she is funny, and she is very blunt and kind of Aspergery and just says shit that, like, and I think people like that, and they like our dynamic. We haven't done an episode in a while. We'll pick it up eventually. But I've been concentrating on this and doing road dates, so I haven't been dealing with Sword Fight at all. But yeah, people are fine in person, and the hate I get online, that's your husband, like, I never care. Like, they say whatever the fuck they want. Like, again, I understand that so much of it is, some people just hate trans people. Some people just don't like me or they don't like her. And then so many other people are reacting to what has become a political issue. So it's almost like if you talk about it at all, no one wants to talk about it as people. It's like this fucking political thing. And again, it's identity politics. So people are like, my side feels this way. And I don't care about what they think. Like, again, my job is not to change their mind.
Sure.
I can only put it out there, and then they'll make whatever judgment they want to make.
What is her tolerance level versus yours? I mean, you've obviously had, a whole career to make yourself thick-skinned. What is her tolerance level versus yours?
It gets to her once in a while, but honestly, she so doesn't give a fuck. Like, she'll be like, who fucking care? I don't care. She doesn't give a shit. Like, which is great, but that's the same thing that enables me to talk about her in the act, and she's okay with it. Like, I couldn't have married a fragile person who was like, I think I say that even in the thing, but I couldn't have married someone who was like, oh God, don't talk about, oh God, they said, like, we would be dead in the water very quickly. Right. But I don't, people can say whatever the fuck they want. Most of the ones criticizing, they keep their own lives very private. Most people, 85 to 90% of them, do it from the safety of privacy from their home. So I kind of know, like, yeah, I understand that they're cowardice. They're the same as people who protested a mask. It's like, you don't believe in it that strongly. You say it for real.
Right. Go ahead, Seth.
No, I'm very thankful that you came on the show today because, again, I mean, watching you last night and then having you on here today, to me, is awesome. And
oh, thanks, man.
Well, and
I'm glad you're coming to Cleveland, too.
Yeah.
Me too. I actually love Cleveland.
I don't, and we're here. So at least somebody does.
That is true. You have a Chicago hotel behind you.
Yes. But it says Trump on it, so it's fine. Whatever. But
I've stayed in that hotel. It's really nice. And I lived in a Trump building for many years. Don Jr. was my upstairs neighbor. So I got to know him over the years. And I like him a lot. He's a really nice dude. Sure. And, I had met President Trump a few times before. We did the Tonight Show together and here and there. But it's funny. I remember one Christmas party in Trump Place at Riverside Boulevard. The big Christmas party was in the lobby, and I was walking through, and Trump was there and Don Jr. And I think I just waved to Don, but I was on my way to the cellar. And I had no idea. Like, I was just kind of walking by the future president of the United States. Like, I didn't even stop and say, hey, how are you? Like, I had no idea, right? No one knew.
Well, what fucking kills me, I've stayed in the Trump Vegas hotel a few times, and I love it out there. It's great. I love the hotel. It doesn't have a casino in it. I still love the hotel. It's nice. But what kills me about Trump is that all these fuckers, they loved him 10 years ago, 12 years ago. they would suck his dick all day long for a donation or money or to have a good time or have a party. And now he becomes president, and then they all hate him and want him dead. And it shows to me what Hollywood and a lot of those politicians are really about.
It's one of those things, I think, where because people knew he donated to both sides. Like that's another thing that was attractive. People knew, like, this guy he knows the system because he's worked it from both ends, and he admitted it. Like, hey, you're the one who made the laws for the taxes that I fucking took tax breaks on.
Right.
You made them up because your donors all take them. So he had these really great answers, but once you align with a party, you've automatically lost half the country anyway. And people are just angrier now than they ever were before. Like, every year we get angrier. I hate when people blame him. It's not his fault. We fucking hated each other when Biden was there. We hated each other before Trump. But a lot of people hated Obama. So he's not making us a shitty country. We've gotten very shitty on our own. We're shitty on social media. We're shitty with differing opinions. We're shitty about everything. We're shitty when we protest. So people blame Trump for that, and it's not his fault. But I don't understand why they hate him so much. It's like, you could disagree with the guy, but I don't hate him. Just certain things I don't agree with, but there's other things I like that he does a lot.
Look, I didn't agree with a lot of that Biden did, but you get somebody like Robert De Niro up there, who I always respected as an actor, and he says "fuck Trump," and then makes me want to hate him. I mean, they've created a scene, especially I think in Hollywood, that has become a nightmare to watch anymore.
Well, they're also Hollywood. They're all performative. I mean, that's what they do. Mm-hmm. And I find that, like, I try not to get mad at people's politics, but I also try not to like somebody just because they agree.
Right.
Like, that's the trap we fall into, is we always like people who agree with us. But, like, when people will come up and go, they'll ask questions online, so what do you think about Israel, or whatever the issue is. They're not asking because they give a fuck about what you think or what I think. It's almost a parasitic question, because whatever your answer is feeds one of two things for them. Either if you agree with them, they're like, fuck yeah, see, another. And if you don't agree with them, it lets them to get into some rage porn. It lets them get a little bit angry. But either way, they're getting a little dopamine spike out of agreeing with you or getting angry at you. But it's all about them. So, you know what I mean? That's why I don't get involved with it, because I don't even respect their motive for caring.
Right. Well, since we're talking about people that you don't like or you hate, allegedly, talk a little bit about Anthony Cumia coming back to radio and you being kind of a once-a-month host.
I'm so happy for Ant that he has that gig. He comes on my show. I come on his. I wish he didn't live in North Carolina, because we would be interacting so much more now, especially that I don't have radio. They stopped me from going on his show at one point.
Sure.
So now I'm totally free, and he's totally free, but he's got that radio gig. So I'm very happy for him. It's what he wants to be doing. I don't think they want me on more than once a month. They don't want an Ant and Jimmy show. They want Ant, some more political vibe, which is fine. I don't want to do a political show. But you know what I mean? People are like, why don't you guys work together? It's because they want Ant's political take more than anything, but I still will go on whenever he asks me. I mean, I really love doing it, and
sure,
I love interacting with him. It's the most fun I have.
Did you ever consider, and this I guess would have been during Jim and Sam era for you, but you know this, the online, everybody was clamoring the minute Ant was fired.
Yeah,
it was, let's get Ant and Jim together. Let's do that show. The Nopey shows are renownedly famous because they're fun. Did you ever consider doing that even after you left Sirius just recently?
The reason I didn't do it at first, and I mean for the first couple of years, like a lot of times people who were familiar with the show, the thing that they don't see is the way things are behind the scenes, or the conversations we have with management or our bosses. And for a long time, my hope was that Anthony would come back to SiriusXM and that Opie and Anthony would resume. When Opie and I kept going, I didn't look at this like, well, fuck Anthony. Like, I was on his show. I think the second show he did, I did. He was doing it from his patio. And I would always try to get him in as a guest. Sirius always said no. They always said no. One time, one of the upper management said to me, do you think Anthony would ever consider doing double duty? I think that they were softening on his position, on his firing. And again, it's just me speculating. But
Sure.
then I think the whole thing with his ex-girlfriend happened, and that was like for them the nail in
Right,
the
that was
coffin.
it.
And no one's ever said this to me, but I just look at the way the tone changed.
Mm-hmm.
And then they finally allowed him to come back in the building. As the day Sam and I think as soon as Opie left the company, they allowed
Okay.
Anthony to come on our show. I remember Scott told me, whatever the concert was at the Apollo that night, he told me, hey, he's like, yeah, you can have him back in. So we got him back in the next morning, but management hadn't put it through the computer yet, so they refused him. So 2 days later, he came back in, and then they banned him again. So it was always back and forth with those guys. So I wanted Anthony to come back to Sirius. And it's also, look, Sirius paid me pretty well. It was my job. Like,
Right.
Leaving a job is not easy when you have a mortgage, and I was paying, again, my manager, my agent. So yeah, it was like, it was work, and I didn't look at it like it's a paycheck, but I loved, I liked doing radio, and it was my job.
Right on. Well, Jim, you've given us more time than we ever
That's
asked for,
okay.
man. Obviously, Friday, Saturday, 2 shows each night over at Hilarities down on 4th Street. Make sure you go out there and catch the great Jim Norton. And Jim, give the plugs, man. Where's the best place to keep up with you?
Jim Norton Comedy on YouTube. My special, Unconceivable, is on now, and it's been very well received, and I appreciate all the nice comments, and I really do. It means a lot. I hadn't put a special out in a while, so I'm really happy that people like it. I was very nervous putting it out, and I was like, "Fuck, they're gonna hate it. It sucks." But they've been really kind. So, and Hilarities is honestly one of the best clubs in the country. So
That's good place.
I'm so happy to be coming back. That guy Nick is the nicest guy on earth. He makes you feel guilty. Like, he's such a nice dude. The owner, you're like, I feel like a piece of shit because I'm not sold out.
He is a great
I'm
guy.
sitting in my seat now, Jim. I'm ready for the show to start.
Well, if you want to come out, come out. It's again, the material is new, and I'm really happy with how it's been going. Because I shot the special a few months ago, so I gave myself time to build new stuff. Because you don't want to tour with the same material. That's
Right.
stupid.
Right on. Well, one more time, Jim Norton Comedy on YouTube. You can find him anywhere that there's social media. Jim is at.
Yeah.
And Jim, thanks for doing this, man. We really
thank you,
appreciate
brother.
it, and good luck.
Yeah, I
on
was happy
over
to
the
do it. It
weekend.
was fun. I appreciate you guys. Thanks a lot.
Thank you,
All right,
man.
Jim.
All right, I'll see you
Take
this
care, man.
week.
All right,
See
take
ya.
care.
Bye, guys.
Bye. And there goes Jim Norton.
Good stuff, man. He was awesome.
How's that for a good get?
Yes, that was
Like
a lot of
that.
fun. I'm gonna call an audible on today's show, though.
That we're done with the clean.
No. We're gonna do the last segment clean, but we're not gonna air this on the.
No. I was thinking about that midway through. I was like, "Whoo, boy, I'm going to spend about 6 hours editing this."
We're gonna have we're gonna actually do a little bit longer third segment here, and then we're going to so we have 2 to put on the radio, and then we're going to.
I
just
may have
promote
to
the
go
fact
back. I may
that
have
they
to
can
just
watch
go
it.
back and get like Mark Farner interview or something to fill in.
Whatever, or we'll just have 2 segments this week, and that's fine. But
That's fine.
let's take a quick break. What do you say?
Okay,
and then we'll
sounds
start
good.
our last segment of the show. But thanks to Jim Norton for coming on. That was really something. Can you play something?
Yeah.
I got it.
Right.
Hang on, we'll be right back.
Seth Williams loves this land, stands tall and proud. Believes in freedom, speaks his mind out loud. Mentored by Triv, he learned to be tough. Life knocked him down, but he got back up. Lost a leg, but he's still strong and true. Chasing dreams under skies of red, white, and blue. Voting for Trump, he shouts it clear. WTAM tried to bring him down, but he's still here. In the heart of America, Seth takes a stand. Against the tides, he defends our land. Liberals call him crazy, but he don't care. He's got the spirit of an eagle, soaring high in the air. Hates LeBron James, won't wear that crown. Prefers hard work and blue jeans in this town. Radio waves try to shut him up, But Seth keeps singing, filling that cup. From the small town streets to the mountain high, Seth sees the flag waving, reaching for the sky. He keeps on fighting with a rebel yell, for every fallen soldier and the stories they tell. In the heart of America, Seth takes a stand. Against the tides, he defends our land. Liberals call him crazy, but he don't care. He's got the spirit of an eagle, soaring high in the air. On the small town streets to the mountain high, Seth sees the flag waving, reaching for the sky. He keeps on fighting with a rebel yell, for every fallen soldier and the stories they tell. In the heart of America, Seth takes a stand. Against the tides, he defends our land. Liberals call him crazy, but he don't care. He's got the spirit of an eagle, soaring high in the air.
Looking to sell your car quickly and for top dollar? At buyyourcars.net, we make it easy. Whether your vehicle is new, used, or even damaged, we'll buy it in any condition. Fast offers, quick cash, and hassle-free transactions. What more could you ask for? Just visit buyyourcars.net, enter your vehicle information, and get a fast offer within minutes. Ready to sell? Call us today at 770-815-0342 or fill out the contact form at buyyourcars.net. Get cash fast for your car the easy way. Buyyourcars.net. Selling your car has never been easier.